What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be installing some very affordable coilovers on the G35. Now this is technically a sponsored video. They did send out these coilovers so that I can kind of test them out and review them. However, I did not receive any payment for this video, and I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you guys because I don't want you to buy something that is not worth buying. So we're going to go ahead and install these Maxpeedingrods Coilovers on the G35, and we're going to go ahead and see what my thoughts are. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this vehicle looks pretty much the same ever since I bought it. I really haven't done anything major to this vehicle aside from fixing a few body panels and replacing things that needed to be done. But I haven't really done anything that's major, like installing coilovers. So I want to take a chance to thank Maxpeedingrods for sponsoring today's video. They did send out a pair of coilovers for the G35. This will fit a G35 and a 350Z, so you can go ahead and throw them on a 350Z as well. I currently have 10 coilovers on that vehicle, so I don't want to change the suspension setup on there because I'm actually happy with the way that vehicle rides. But this vehicle, as you can kind of tell from the wheel gaps, is pretty much stock as far as the suspension goes. So in today's video I am going to install these Maxpeeding coilovers on the G35 Coupe, and I will let you guys know if they're worth buying or not. Now these coilovers are actually pretty affordable. Like I said, they're around $300, give or take taxes and whatnot. So without further delay, let's get right into today's video. Alright guys, so I have the coilovers set up here on the ground, and right here is pretty much everything you're going to get inside the box. So we have the two front coilovers, the two rear coilovers, the two rear springs, and the hats to adjust the spring, and pretty much everything you guys see here is what you guys should be getting as well. I have instructions, and also have some stickers. Now I will say, guys, I'm pretty impressed with the way everything was packaged. It was nicely packaged. There wasn't like any tears in the boxes or any damage to the coilovers. So with that aspect of things, I'm pretty impressed. Now another thing that I will say that I like is that they include metal shims. These are kind of what your spring rides on, so they kind of look like that when you install them. The reason I say I like this is because Tane, one of their competitors, actually uses a plastic one. Now the plastic one that they use can break over time, and I have seen that break on the 350Z I have. So this will hold up much better to abuse over time. Also, another thing that I like is that they have their own top metal hats. Tane reuses the top metal hats on the front shocks, and these guys, they didn't really cut down on any cost when it came to making these, so that's a pretty nice thing to see there. So yeah, that's something that I really like for this price range. It's an incredible deal in my opinion. And if you guys don't believe me, I ended up pulling out a Tane coilover for my P11, but they pretty much do the same thing to all the vehicles. You can see here, I had to reuse the top bushing, this rubber bushing here for the spring, and I needed to reuse the stock spring mount hat along with the bushing on the top. So this is something that you're gonna have to deal with if you go with Tane. And I'm not trying to, go in favor of Maxpeedingrods by any means. I'm just giving you guys the facts. Another nice thing is that we do have a bracket for the brake line and ABS cable. I know that on the True Heart coilovers, you actually don't get a bracket like this, and they're actually priced around $600 to $700. And you actually don't even get this bracket, which kind of poses a safety issue because you kind of have to zip tie that stuff to the body of the shock. So overall, this setup is not bad at all. The only thing that I kind of don't like about it is that in the rear, you have to reuse your stock spring bucket so that you can fit these springs in there. Now, if you were to go with another company like Raceland, for example, they offer affordable coilovers as well. They're a little bit more expensive than these, probably twice as expensive. However, you do get a true setup as far as, the coilover goes. So you won't have to use that spring bucket in the back, and you can just use the spring inside the shock. And I think overall that is better because you can eliminate that bucket and you can run aftermarket tow arms. The reason that you want aftermarket tow arms on these vehicles is because when you lower them, the tow gets extremely thrown off in the rear, and if you don't fix that, it's gonna chew through your tires like crazy. So the only way to really fix that is to get true style coilovers so that you can run an adjustable tow arm in the back so that you can bring the tow back into spec after you drop the vehicle. So that is a problem that you will run in when you are using these types of coilovers. Nothing wrong with the coilover that I have in front of me, it's just the way that it's made. And I want to let you guys know because not a lot of people talk about that, but since I'm aware of that issue, I want to bring it up to your attention so that you guys can make a decision whether or not this is the right setup for you. So it's pretty straightforward to remove your stock suspension. All you have to do is disconnect the brake line right here. There's a 12mm nut, and you also need to disconnect your ABS cable from the shock. And then on the bottom, there is going to be a 17mm nut and bolt that kind of goes through the lower control arm. Once you get that off, you're going to go up and you'll remove the 3 fasteners, or the 3 nuts I should say, that hold the shock to the top right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Once you do that, this will kind of slide down. You can lift it up and wiggle it out. So I have one of the stock shocks out. You can see, that there is a noticeable difference in length. So I feel like if I put this on, it's gonna be a little too low. So I'm gonna try to get as close as possible to how I had it, and then maybe a little bit lower. So I'm gonna do some measurements here, and if it doesn't look good when I put everything on, I'm gonna have to go back and adjust the right height so that it's not too low. I don't like having vehicles that are too slammed and are not drivable. So I am gonna mess with this a little bit, and you're gonna have to do that if you're installing coilovers as well. You're gonna see what is the best ride height for your daily needs. So I have one side down, as you can see here. I am pretty impressed because I'm not running into any fitment issues. Everything is bolting up just fine. These brackets make it easy so that you can adjust them, either putting them higher or lower, so that your brake line and your ABS cable are not strained or anything like that. So that is looking pretty good. I am gonna go ahead and do the rear, and then I'm gonna drop the car down and see how it looks. So I think it was a little too low for me, so I did adjust the coilovers again. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down now. Hopefully it's not too low. So for the rear, it's pretty straightforward. To remove your spring from your bucket here, there is a 17mm fastener and a nut. You want to go ahead and remove that, and you also want to go ahead and remove this other fastener that holds your shock. and then there is two 12mm nuts that hold it on the top. Alright, so I'm finishing up installing the rear coilovers here. I did remove the old suspension that I had, and I was hoping that with these coilovers I would be able to maybe use like a spring insulator or some kind of rubber insulator to hold back on any noise. However, this spring is just too small and it won't fit on this rubber piece here, so it's just gonna have to go on like that. So it's just kind of metal on aluminum. I'm pretty sure that's gonna rattle, but we'll go ahead and test it here. Just as a heads up here, you're gonna need another jack or something to help line this bucket on right here. So that's what I did. I used the jack kind of to compress the spring, and then I'm gonna go ahead and line this guy up and finish installing everything. But it's pretty straightforward. As you can see, the spring fit in there and the adjuster is right up there. It's kind of off to the side though, so I'm gonna have to adjust that to make it go in the middle. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna see if I got my measurements down correctly. I think it's gonna drop it down a lot.
The next morning.
Alright guys, so as you guys can tell, the wheel gap on the front and the rear are pretty similar. I think the front is a little bit too low for my liking. I don't like it when I rub too much. A lot of that has to do because my bumper is not really fully attached, but regardless, what it does rub on is the wheel well right here. It's just a little bit too low, so I might go back here and adjust it just a tad bit. Something that I did notice about these coilovers is that they go extremely low, so if you guys want to be slammed, then I don't think you guys will have an issue with these coilovers. Now I did hear that clunk that I was trying to make you guys listen to, and I don't know if I'll do it again. Yeah, so it kind of clunks a little bit in the rear, nothing major, and like I said, I think it's because we don't have that spring kind of insulated there when it contacts the spring bucket in the back. The only negative thing that I have to say about these coilovers are that in the rear it kind of clunks a little bit. I might need to go back there and grease things up, or I think that's just how they're gonna be. Overall guys, I can't really complain about these coilovers. When you look at other coilovers that offer the same features or similar features to these coilovers, they're gonna be worth at least $800 and up. The cheapest I think you might find are like $800, and that's Raceland. They're like professional grade coilovers, and that's kind of expensive. So if you guys want something that's affordable and you guys want something that has features like the higher end coilovers, then I think this is like the best bang for the buck. Now, when I did look up these coilovers and the reviews, I saw a lot of great reviews, but I also saw a lot of bad reviews about, you know, like the longevity of the product here. So I can't really speak for that. Only time will tell how well these shocks will hold up to abuse. But if you guys are looking for an affordable coilover for your vehicle that gives you adjustability and dampening settings, then you know, this is the way to go. So after riding around with those coilovers and just seeing the build quality of the product, I can honestly say I would recommend for you guys to also pick up a set. They're very affordable and it's very hard to beat that price and that quality. Now, if you guys also want to pick up a set of coilovers for your vehicle, make sure that you guys check the video description. I will have a link there to their website along with a coupon code for 10% off your next purchase of any product that Maxpeedingrods offers. Once again, I want to thank Maxpeedingrods for sponsoring today's video and sending out these coilovers so that I can test them out and give you guys this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends if you guys are looking for an affordable coilover that is actually pretty good.